Hi, I'm Pastor Len Smith, interim pastor at Shepherd's Heart Fellowship here in Osceola, Indiana, continuing a series based on the book Brethren Brush with Greatness by Frank Ramirez. Today we're going to talk about an individual that we even saw renditions of him on television back in the 1950s and 1960s, and that man was Danielle Boone. This story is called Danielle Boone, A Legend of the Brethren? As a child, it was easy to confuse the television portrayals of Danielle Boone and Davy Crockett, who were both played by the same Hollywood actor, Fess Parker. The lyrics for the television series of the 60s, written by Vera Matson, did not have to be true to be exciting. Some of you might remember, Danielle Boone was a man, yes, a big man. He was brave, he was fearless, and tough as a mighty oak tree. From the coonskin cap on top of Dan to the heel of his rawhide shoe. The rippinest, roaringest, fightingest man the frontier ever knew. Now, to be honest, Danielle Boone did not wear a coonskin cap or rawhide shoes like Fess Parker did, but that was good enough. Brethren developed legends of their own about the frontiersman. That he was raised and baptized brethren was one of them. Although the actual relationship is unclear, it is likely that there was a connection between the Boone family and the brethren. The Englishman Squire Boone, who emigrated to America in 1717, and his wife Sarah were known as Quakers in Berks County, Pennsylvania. But there's evidence that they were disciplined by their church because at least two of their children, their oldest daughter Sarah and their oldest son Israel, married brethren and presumably attended a German Baptist church. Three sons, Daniel, George, and young Squire, seemed to have some association with the brethren, especially Squire, who was for many years a brethren minister. Daniel and Squire were involved in land speculation in Kentucky and Missouri, and the brethren families were among those who purchased property from the brothers, such as the Lettermans, Hostettlers, Shucks, Wises, Youngs, Bowers, Lastleys, Garrows, Taylors, and Rubles. Danielle Boone was an appealing candidate for inclusion among the brethren. Despite later stories about his participation in the Revolution, he served only as a non-combatant in the French and Indian War, hauling supply wagons for Washington. His relationships with the Indians were often harrowing, yet he showed great respect for their culture, and in return was respected by them. Historians note that many of the Boone family descendants have been found on brethren church rolls. Roland F. Flory, in his book Lest We Forget and Tales of Yesteryears, Volume 3, notes that in 1776, two Boones, Jacob and John, were fined for refusing to bear arms during the Revolutionary War. Many years later, a Clara Boone was one of the first students at Manchester College in Indiana, while Amos Robert Boone and George N. Boone were remembered as graduates of McPherson College in Kansas. But direct connections with the great pioneer himself, Danielle Boone, are tenuous. If Danielle Boone was a brethren, it remains unproven, and if this is a brethren brush with greatness, it is only that, a brush. We hope you enjoyed this story about Danielle Boone. We encourage you to watch our regular worship services online that occur every Sunday at 10 a.m., or please come and join one of our life application classes at 9 a.m. Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for another story about Brethren Brush with Greatness next week.